Hi, Mr. Lawson. Thank you for coming to meet with me
No
today.
problem, no problem. How are you?
Good.
Good.
So, thanks for letting me visit yesterday, and I wanted to talk about that lesson that I observed. How do you feel it went?
I think it went pretty well. The children enjoyed the hands-on experiment. They got a chance to make their simple machines. We used candy and cookies for them to actually create these machines, so they enjoyed it.
Good. I thought it was awesome.
Thank you.
As well, I thought the children were very engaged. They were motivated. The activities and materials were aligned to the objective, and they were just really engaged. So keep up with that with your lessons. So how do you think the do now went?
Wow, the do now seemed to have been really awesome. They had to write down the information that they knew pertaining to simple machines. It was just a stopping jot, like they were dumping ideas onto paper, basically.
So I noticed that the do now went really well, like you said, but it started at 9:10, and then the students completed the do now for about 10 minutes. So at 9:20, it was time to transition to the meat of your lesson. And so I noticed that students were having to hand in their do now and then getting their guided notes for the rest of the lesson. Some kids needed pencils, and so that took about 10 minutes to set up, 7 minutes, I'm sorry, to set up that transition. So how do you think that impacted your lesson?
Wow, I had no idea that it took an entire 7 minutes to transition or to complete the do now and then move on from the appetizer to the meat of the lesson, as you would say, right?
Right.
I had no idea. It probably impacted the amount of instructional time that I was actually given to teach new material to students. It probably even took away from their time to actually explore with some of the tools that were in front of them.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Today I want to focus on how we can better, efficiently transition from your do now to the meat of your lesson, as you said. So let's brainstorm some ways that we can pick up those papers for the do now and then distribute those papers for your guided notes.
Wow, so that would be awesome. Maybe if we had all of the papers in one pack. They were stapled together so that way I didn't have to pick up and pass out so many different papers.
So if you had them stapled, how do you think that would improve the amount of time needed?
So I could staple it beforehand and just give them one packet at the beginning of class, and they flip through the packet as the class progresses.
That's a great idea. Do you have any other ideas that could possibly work?
No.
Okay.
You have any?
So you can also, can I give a suggestion?
Go for it.
So you can also, you can have one student that collects the papers and then another student that passes them out, or you pass them out, or you can have the students pass them to the left.
Oh, so it's already designated students,
yeah.
and I'm not picking different students every time.
Yeah.
Awesome idea.
So you have having them in one packet, you have having the student pass them out. Which one do you think that you would be more?
Probably having them in one packet would be easier for me.
Okay. So when you make your copies, you're going to make them all in one packet now.
Yeah, and they're going to be sequential. They're going to go in the same order that the lesson flows.
Got it. So let's practice. Let's pretend that this is my packet and I'm your student. And so I just completed my do now. Transition me to the next part of our lesson.
Yeah, so flip to the next page, which would be your class notes. And you're going to fill in your class notes as we read. So as we're reading, they could even disconnect their class notes and things of that nature, and they could scribble in as they highlight and annotate their text. And I could also label the tops of the paper pertaining to the different parts of the lesson, so that way they're not lost.
Oh, that's a great idea. That's even better to keep the lesson moving. So practice with me. So just transition from the do now to the next part.
So I would hand out these papers to everybody at the beginning of the lesson. They would be labeled I do, you do, we do, exit ticket, and all of that good stuff. And as we progress through our different parts of the lesson, I would tell them now flip to the next page, and it's going to be labeled we do at the top. Flip to the next page, it's going to be labeled exit ticket at the top. And that could possibly save me a lot of time.
Yeah, I think that's about 10 seconds to just flip over. If that. That's great. So how do you feel about that?
I feel really excited about it now that you brought it to my attention that I was spending so much time picking up and handing out papers, not transitioning from one part of the lesson to the other. And now I feel much better about getting those extra few minutes in to actually teach instruction to the students, as opposed to picking up papers and handing them out now.
Just like you said earlier, I think it's going to really, impact your students because you do so well with keeping them motivated. They're going to be really, ready to listen and hear about the next part of the lesson. So I want to know, you probably won't be able to, you already have your copies made for tomorrow, but do you think that Monday you'll be able to start using this packet?
Without a doubt, I actually make my copies on Friday evening, and I'll
Okay.
start making all of my copies from now on in that same manner and fashion.
So I can come in to see you on Monday at 9?
9, do I teach at 9? 10 o'clock, 10, I teach at 10.
Okay, okay, perfect. So I'll be there then. Thank you, Mr. Lawson.
No problem, that's what I'm here for.